Now, communism is Marx's evil offspring. It has been a blight on our world everywhere it has been tried and implemented. Actually, in 1999, the Black Book of Communism from Harvard University Press tried to tally up the death toll of the Marxist-Leninist sort of communism in various countries. And the figure that they came up with was approaching 100 million people. Let me break that down for you. In the USSR, there's 20 million deaths. In China, 65 million deaths. In Vietnam, 1 million deaths. North Korea, 2 million deaths and counting. Cambodia, 2 million deaths as well. Eastern Europe, 1 million deaths. Latin America, 150,000 deaths. Africa, 1.7 million deaths. Afghanistan, 1.5 million deaths, right? The international communist movement and communist parties not in power account for about a further 10,000 deaths. And even if these figures are presented here as conservative estimates, meaning that it could be much more, with many speculating that the numbers are actually a lot more higher. For example, Alexander Yakovlev, who was a high-level Soviet official, who was one of Mikhail Gorbachev's chief reformers, he attempted to estimate the victims of Joseph Stalin's regime alone, right? And the number that he came up with was actually between 60 to 70 million people. That's in the USSR alone. Let that sink in a bit. Former US President Ronald Reagan described a communist as one who reads Karl Marx and an anti-communist as one who understands Karl Marx. And Reagan described communism as neither an economic nor political system, but rather as a form of insanity, and I have to agree. Yet, there are still many world leaders and Ivy League educators, school teachers and professors and politicians and elite intelligentsia and cultural influencers who still adore Marx's system of thought and think that it is the road to utopia. It finds its way into entertainment, into movies and news media as well, so that its influence is actually pretty pervasive today. Indeed, some may have bought into some of its tenets actually unknowingly. Now, there's a lot of relevance for today. There are many movements today which find their basis actually in classical Marxism, such as, for example, critical race theory, popular topic these days. Much of the leftist and socialist policies held by liberals and radical third wave feminists even, and post-colonial theory. Many in the LGBTQ agenda actually have embraced Marxist principles and tactics, as well as queer theory and even fat and disability studies. These disciplines and agendas are what some may call cultural Marxism, where tenets and principles of classical Marxism are taken and applied to cultural and social issues today, usually adding in a healthy dose of postmodernism as well. This is one of the most pervasive ideologies around in our day today. And it also helps to make sense of why so many of these leftist sort of causes tend to go together, with many seeing them as like a package deal. You ever wondered about that? Every generation of the church has its ideological battles to fight, and I believe that one of the major ones in our generation is Marxism's devil spawn that we're facing today. Thus, Christians and Christian leaders should actually do well to familiarize themselves with the threat and to know how to respond biblically with the truth and equip their people. So for our purposes here, we'll be taking a look at 10 disturbing facts about socialism and communism's founding father, Karl Marx. And this is not just to be a smear campaign about Marx or some sort of ad hominem against him, but rather to point out that the roots of movements and ideologies, they matter. And we can learn a lot about a particular movement by looking at its genesis and founder, right? We can't separate Marxism from the mind behind Marxism and the man behind it, right? Men start revolutionary changes for reasons connected to their private lives. Aristotle said that.